This is the Phuket News Hour with Tim Shaw. Join the conversation on our Facebook page, facebook.com/Phuket Live Radio.
Hello and welcome to the Phuket News Hour, the last program for the week. A great weekend ahead. Looking at a Myanmar story about Human Rights Watch calling for protection of gay and transgender people. Cambodian military veterans calling for an adjustment to pensions. A Singapore man fined for forging vaccination certificates, and a Thailand University develops a silk bulletproof vest. All this and more will cross to the Phuket News Centre for the latest local and national news, and we'll check the world headlines from the BBC, the Phuket News Hour. All the news you need to know this hour, proudly brought to you by the Kids Club Phuket. Lots of news, lots of information on the way. Stay tuned to Live 89.5. The Phuket News Hour, Monday through Friday, 11am to midday. The catch-up program at 6am, Tuesday to Saturdays. And don't forget the podcast, PhuketLiveRadio.com. Check out the podcast anytime, 24/7. That's where you get your news, here on Live 89.5.
The news you need to know. This is the Phuket News Hour with Tim Shaw.
Some of the stories making news in ASEAN. A Thai university has developed a silk bulletproof vest, according to the Bangkok Post. A team of Thailand University researchers, inspired by the unrest in the far south, has developed the world's first bulletproof vest made from natural silk. The silk bulletproof vest can withstand .38 and .22 caliber bullets fired from a distance of 3 metres. A researcher at KKU's Chemical Engineering Department has said during a press conference at the university, the armour, made from silkworm cocoons mixed with a special resin and then hydraulically compressed, is durable, it's lightweight. The vests are 14 to 20 millimetres thick, weigh 2.5 kilograms and cost only 1/3 the price of conventional bulletproof vests. He said silkworm cocoons were used because silkworms are raised and farmed in many areas of Konkan, which has a reputation of quality silk clothing. His research team collected data and interviewed silkworm raisers in a silk textile handicrafts group and learned about the properties of the cocoon. And according to the researcher, quote, inspired by the violence in the Deep South that has claimed many lives and left security officers there dead and injured, our team of researchers decided to develop a bulletproof vest from silkworm cocoons. They are a raw material in the northeast of the Kingdom of Thailand and plentiful in Konkan province. What a great initiative from those researchers from the Konkan University. That report from the Bangkok Post. Moving to Phnom Penh, the Phnom Penh Post is reporting that the families of deceased Cambodian veterans are finding pensions hard to come by. The Cambodian Veteran Association admitted, as the organisation is scrambling for funds amid what appears to be the higher than usual death rates among the kingdom's former military officers. Speaking at the opening of the Second International Congress of the Cambodian Veterans Association, the acting secretary of the association and Minister of Social Affairs said that out of the 75,258 registered members of the CVA since 2008, approximately 5,513 veteran families have received a 4 million rial, $1,000 US dollar allowance provided by the association. However, 1,523 of those registered have not. According to the minister, quote, based on the statute, the mortality fund accounts for 35 deaths per month, but now the death rate has doubled to 70 and in some cases more than 100. It's difficult for the association to keep supporting people. That in order to solve the problem, the association will require a set of contributions for the fund in order to expand its reach. That story from the Phnom Penh Post talking about the families of deceased Cambodian veterans and finding the money for pensions for those families after the death of the serving officer. More news on the way. This is the Phuket News Hour.
Miss something? No problem. Listen to the Phuket News Hour any time of the day. Programs posted daily on the PhuketNews.com/radio and on our Facebook page, Phuket Live Radio.
Looking at stories in the ASEAN region, Jakarta has been ranked as the 9th among the world's least friendly cities in 2015, according to the Jakarta Post. Chara Revitt with this report.
Jakarta, the Indonesian capital notorious for gridlocks and bad air pollution, ranks 9th amongst the world's least friendliest cities this year, a recent survey by an international travel magazine shows. readers of the highly regarded luxury travel magazine Condé Nast Traveler included Jakarta for the first time on its 10 unfriendliest cities in the world. Also included on the list were Moscow, Russia, Cairo, Egypt, New Delhi, India, and surprisingly Cannes, France, which is at the bottom of the list. In the survey, one of the readers said Jakarta was the scariest place I have ever been to, with its congest and aggressive locals. The survey also highlighted the city's bad pollution, as well as excessive and controlled flooding during the rainy season. On hindsight, the traumatic tourists state in the survey that they find solace in the local food, especially in nasi pandang. Released in August, the survey is based on Condé Nast Travel's annual Choice Awards, which collects over 1 million votes from nearly 77,000 readers.
Chara Revitt reporting from the story in the Jakarta Post, and I wonder how many Indonesians may cancel their subscription to the Condé Nast Travelers magazine. Watch this space. Moving to Singapore, the StraitsTimes.com is reporting that a man has been fined $6,000 for forging pet vaccination certificates and running a pet shop without a licence. The man was fined a total of $6,000 this week for making a false pet vaccination certificate and running a pet shop from his home without a licence. Ko Wen-ju, 30, admitted to forging a pet vaccination certificate with the intention of creating the impression that it was signed by a veterinarian and using it to make Ms. Wong Ba-ling enter into a contract for the sale of a toy poodle. He also admitted to using his flat as a pet shop without a licence between August 2012 and March 2013. The court was told that for 7 months he bought and sold puppies online. He kept mainly Shih Tzu, toy poodle and Japanese Spitz breeds in his home for no longer than 2 weeks for each puppy. He posted online advertisements to sell the puppies and operated under various pseudonyms and mobile numbers. He sold 10 puppies online over the 7-month period, and in 2 of these cases, he used false vaccination certificates to induce the buyers to buy the puppies. That story from the Straits Times here on the Phuket News Hour. More news on the way.
Your daily news fix, Monday to Friday at 11 a.m. Only on Live 89.5.
The Phuket News Hour, proudly sponsored by the Kids Club Phuket. Now, exciting things happening this Sunday at 4 o'clock till 7 o'clock at the Kids Club Phuket. It's opposite Jung Salong. It's called the Day of Knowledge. This is a great chance for you to get together and enjoy some fantastic groups of people offering wonderful things for your children. There'll be representatives on hand from Jube Jube, Indigo Kids International Preschool, Oasis Ed Phuket, Kids Planet and Happy Baby. Great entertainment for the kids, performances by dancers and acrobats, entry charges of 350 baht per child, 100 baht for adults, and that'll entitle you to a day entry ticket to the Kids Club plus all entertainment. Come along, enjoy the fun, get there early. It's going to be a fun-filled day for all of the family at the Kids Club Phuket. Opposite Jung Salong, underground parking available, open 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. 7 days a week. A great place for you and the family and the kids to have the best fun. The Kids Club Phuket, proud sponsors of the Phuket News Hour.
Live 89.5.
A special report from Australia. The ABC 7:30 reporter Dylan Welch has gone to the Victorian Gippsland region to look at the investment that Chinese business is making in the Australian dairy industry. Now, many locals welcome this, but many locals are concerned about overdevelopment of these rural locations by these multi-billion-dollar Chinese investment funds. The dairy country is deep, it's lush, its rolling hills of Victoria's Gippsland, and at dawn and dusk every day, dairy cows make their way right through to the milking shed. This report from Dylan Welch.
Chinese investment in Australian agriculture started slowly. Only 140 million of the 9.5 billion invested last year was in agriculture. But with the signing of the Free Trade Agreement, 2015 is expected to be a breakthrough year. There are at least 2 multi-billion-dollar Chinese funds in negotiations right now for Australian businesses.
The China-Australia FTA will increase the interest of Chinese companies to start looking at some of these Australian properties and show an interest in purchasing them, because the FTA opens up new trade channels that those properties can then sell back into the Chinese market.
30 minutes north of the Uplands Farm is the hamlet of Kernot, home to about 150 people. The general store is the town's heart. Last year, Chinese company Ningbo Dairy bought a pair of adjacent Kernot farms and named them Yoyu Dairy.
That report from Dylan Welch from the ABC 7:30 report. I'll post the full story about Chinese investment in the Australian agriculture industry, as well as specifically in the dairy farming businesses, particularly in Victoria. Have a good look at the story and just see at the level of investment that's being made for a growth-hungry nation like China, as other ASEAN nations, of which China is not a member, but they're all wanting double-digit growth, and anything above 5% growth under these current economic circumstances sees many ASEAN nations reaching outside their own borders to look for large growth in business opportunities. That story from Dylan Welch, the abc.net.au 7:30 report. Have a look at the full story on facebook.com, the Phuket News, and facebook.com, Phuket Live Radio. More news on the way. This is the Phuket News Hour.
Today's important stories and the island's best music. This is the Phuket News Hour with Tim Shaw.
To Myanmar, and a story from New York City from Human Rights Watch, or HRW.org. Burma's government should publicly condemn grossly discriminatory remarks by a regional official about gay men and transgender women, Human Rights Watch said in a letter to senior Burmese officials. The Burmese government is obligated under international law to protect all people in the country, regardless of sexual orientation or gender identity. During a regional parliamentary session in Mandalay in August 2015, the region's Minister of Border and Security Affairs, Dr. Myint Kyu, called on police to arrest gay people. Quote, "The existence of gay men who assume they are women is unacceptable, and therefore we're constantly taking action to have the gays detained at police stations, educate them, then hand them back to their parents." He also indicated that the authorities had, quote, "checked on and arrested 9 gay men for acting inappropriately." Burma's government has a responsibility to ensure noxious statements about gay people don't go unchallenged, according to Graham Reid, lesbian, gay, bisexual and transgender rights director. Quote, "Unless the government speaks out against such hateful words, it could open the door to more abuse of the sort described by this minister." Mandalay authorities have previously demonstrated disregard for the fundamental rights of LGBT people. In July 2013, plainclothes police officers in Mandalay arbitrarily arrested a group of 10 gay men and transgender women and abused them in detention. An investigation committee composed of township police chiefs from Mandalay Division announced it was investigating the case, but no subsequent information was ever reported. Burma's criminal law embeds discrimination against LGBT people, Section 377 of the Penal Code, drawn from a British colonial-era law, criminalises same-sex sexual behaviour. Such laws, which have been repealed, have an impact that extends far beyond their use by the justice system, heightening concerns of legalised discrimination and other abuse. The government should properly investigate the arrests and alleged abuse in detention in the 2013 case and more recent arbitrary arrests of perceived LGBT people. That report from hrw.org/news, Human Rights Watch from New York City. This is the Phuket News Hour. More news on the way.
Your daily news fix, Monday to Friday at 11 a.m. Only on Live 89.5.
That is the program for the day and for the week. Thank you for your company here on the Phuket News Hour. Produced and presented by Tim Shaw, Associate Producer Chara Rivette. Using the resources of the Phuket News Centre, the BBC, CNN, Voice of America, ASEAN newspapers right around the region. Stay tuned for our BBC Hourly News and our updates on local and national news here on Live 89.5. And the Kids Club Phuket Day of Knowledge this Sunday from 4 till 7 p.m. Get down there. It's going to be a lot of fun, some great exhibitions and some wonderful things for the kids to do. That's at the Kids Club Phuket, the Day of Knowledge, this Sunday from 4 p.m. Have a great remainder of the day, a terrific weekend. Until we speak again here on the Phuket News Hour, Kopten Krap. See you again soon.
This is the Phuket News Hour with Tim Shaw. Join the conversation on our Facebook page, facebook.com/Phuket Live Radio.